You know, making best thing is going to be to have a little in there as much as possible to make them more valuable. Well, to be overwhelming. Size, like, for being so, the entire 65 might be long and tough, more space in the office. These are just my thoughts. You have something to come to.
Yeah.
Or like this kind of, I can get it.
And my
Yeah.
You have my love.
You're gonna get the whole logo, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, what size do you wear? Beginning of next year.
No.
You can tell me the size.
I will. I share with my.
Morning. Not yeah. Sponsor this morning is Belco Studios. I'm Julia. So we are a retail and interior design studio downtown Alpharetta. We do everything furnishings from new builds, renovations, anything that you want, floor plans, and then obviously all the furniture. We also do staging. If you have any staging for your clients, whether it's just for photography or whether it's going to fit in the home or the duration of how long they do that. We also are doing these custom clothing baskets with real estate agents. Thank you. So you can come into our shop and we have these boxes there. You can kind of pick items depending on the price range that you're looking for to fill the box with. We can put your branding on the inside here. We have our Bunny Pizza on the outside. They close out, they make a great gift. You can use them for holiday gifts, clothing gifts, anything that you might need a gift for. We are going to have an event at our store on December 12th where we're kind of launching this. So we will send you guys a follow-up email. I'm going to grab cards if you're interested. Card information. Downtown Alpharetta. Yeah, right in the little store downtown area. What else? Oh, and referrals. So if you guys ever refer a client to us and they want to be using our services or purchasing furniture for us, can give you guys a $250 gift card.
Woo, yeah, I like that, works, that looks beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful.
thank you.
Fantastic.
Keep it short and simple for you guys. So if you just want to leave your card here before you go, I'll leave this here and.
Here, you wanna pass it around? You can go
Yeah,
and pass it
yeah, or
around.
we can pass it around.
Everybody got a gift, a business card you can put in for a drawing? Did you say what for a drawing for?
It's to get your information for the email for the
Okay.
event on the 12th, and then we're raffling off, a candle.
Okay, awesome.
And then also we left some of our information on your tables, about the closing gifts, the referral program, and then the little postcards of all of our services on the back. Yes,
And that's your name again?
Belso,
Okay.
yes. Anybody else have questions? What's something we together forget? The interior of the home, that's right. It's scary. Yeah, so that's what the little mark on the top is.
Fabulous.
But yeah, feel free to check out our website, our portfolio is on there with all of our work, and then obviously the rest of our information is on there as well. Thank you guys for having us. Thank you. Yeah. If you guys need stage or anything like that, they do an amazing job. Thank you. Our face monitor.
Okay, gratitude. You just came from a beautiful week of Thanksgiving. What are we grateful for today?
How are you?
Good, how are you? What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my son. I went to San Francisco, spent the weekend out there with him and his girlfriend, and got back at 11:30 last night, and had a great time. Yeah, you're a little tired,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
Grateful today.
I'll go.
In your day.
I'll go. So, lots of things to be grateful for. Thanksgiving just took place, and we had a really, not really ordinary, but normal Thanksgiving. We hosted it, and people came to our house, my family, and midnight came about, we went to bed, right? At 3:30 in the morning, my son woke us up, and he says, we have to leave. Police are outside. And the house next door to us caught on fire, not just caught on fire, but was completely engulfed in fire. And we grabbed our passports, the dogs, my wife got her photo hard drive, and that was it. And we didn't know what we were coming back to afterwards. The house was gone. And what we didn't know at the time was whether the family that lived there was actually there or not. Thank goodness they were out of town, but nobody knew at the time, right? But the house was completely gone.
A year out?
No.
Oh, we're fine, yeah, we were fine, but we were literally the house next door, So it wakes you up.
Yeah.
You go like, okay, whatever issue I was having or whatever thing I thought it was bothering me, no longer, so. Glad to be here.
Grateful to have a home on such a cold day too. There's warming shelters open now for everybody out there that doesn't have a warm home to go to, so I'm very grateful to have a beautiful. Who else? Who else is grateful? I see your face. Tell me.
What's grateful for the holidays, getting time to spend with family.
Awesome. Anyone else? Have gratitude for this beautiful world. Well, I'm grateful for being here with y'all today. I don't typically host team meeting, but Gina's in Austin, Texas, learning how to be a great, fabulous leader for all of us. So you get me today, so I'm so grateful to see all of your beautiful faces. All right. And I have to have double duty. Y'all know that I'm always at the computer. Harry, come tell us about all of our season of giving. So we've got so many opportunities
Things going on right now.
and today's the perfect day, because today's Giving Tuesday.
Today is Giving Tuesday, so if you guys wanna help us with, Norcross Ministries, they have a wish list, you can scan that, and it'll go to the wish list, and you can just have it sent to, I think it says like the list creator, and that'll come to my house and I can bring it to the office for you. Make it real easy for you. Peachtree Farms, it will actually go directly to Peachtree Farms, so if you do that, if you can just send me an email to let me know so I can let them know that it's coming from us. We are adopting 3 more families, through Families First. Lenny Pozo is actually heading that up. We're waiting for their wish list, so we're supposed to have their wish list today. And we actually yesterday got to drop off, secure for 2 families that, are affected by childhood cancer. So we dropped off the gifts yesterday to them, because they always have really tight timelines and everything. So that was so nice to be able to drop that off.
And you're still looking for donations for Cure, right?
So here, we're always looking for gift cards for either groceries or gas. That's what they need most there. They like them in $25 increments, just because it's easier for them to hand out to families and for the patient managers to have them like on them as they're going and they meet a family and they're like, I need gas to get home. I mean, you know, when you're struggling with childhood cancer, a lot of times one of the partners, either the mom or the dad, will have to actually quit their job to manage the patient's care and to be there. And so it's a really big hardship for these families. And a lot of them have multiple kids. One of the kids that, one of the families we adopted had 4 children, the other one had 3 children. So being able to drop off the gifts yesterday and make that a little bit easier for them was really nice. So that is all of our opportunities, and
And for everyone that wasn't here last time we talked about, what is Peachtree Farms and what do they do?
so Peachtree Farms is a new organization that we're partnering with that are they are right here in Peachtree Corners, and they actually help disabled adults learn job skills. They teach them how to garden, and they do plant sales. They sell to wholesale nurseries. They're a great organization, and again, right here in our community. Same thing with Norcross Ministries. They're right here in our communities, and Families First as well. So these are all right here where we live and work, and they support us, so we try to support them. So those are all our opportunities, and if somebody doesn't like shopping, or maybe you only have $10 to donate or something, just Venmo Nina, and she will do the shopping for you, because there is nothing Nina likes more than shopping. She is really good at that, and she's really happy to do that, so we can do that as well. So the other thing that's so exciting that I wanted to talk about is next Wednesday night is our 20th anniversary party. So exciting, so it's gonna be Roaring 20 since our 20th anniversary of our market center, which is super exciting. We are gonna have casino night, so there's gonna be roulette and poker and blackjack and all kinds of fun stuff. There's gonna still be a DJ, there'll be food. It's at Roswell Country Club like it was last year, and it's still just $35 a ticket. So get your tickets for that quickly, because it is filling up fast. We've got some great sponsors. Thank you so much, Joe Kelly and Storehand, and Michael and Gray, Seltzer, Ruth Butler, and Oak Insurance, and one more, and Gilstrap Exterminating are all helping to sponsor that event, just to keep the ticket prices really low for you guys. So
We're gonna have tons of fun.
it is gonna be so much fun, you guys.
And Gatsby style is encouraged, like
It's gonna
dress
be so
to
fun.
impress in your glitz, glitter, and Gatsby style. So think, 1920s flapper dresses, tuxedos, those sorts of, if you wanna get real fancy. Let's get fancy.
Or you can look really fancy, whatever you want.
Whatever you want, yeah.
Make sure you RSVP to Jessica, because space is limited. And so get your reservations, get your tickets as quickly as you can.
Well, where are we gonna take a where we are?
So just Jessica, and you can even put your tickets on the bill. You can bring your significant other, bring a spouse or a friend. But yeah, so it's gonna be really fun this year, so we can't wait. So
That's next Wednesday, December 6th.
6 to 10.
At 6 to 10.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see everybody.
This is so much
I may or may not have the coolest dress. So fantastic. I can't wait for that party. All right, y'all ready to get into some action today? Let's do a little exercise. So I took this straight from MREA playbook. If anybody hasn't seen this yet, it's an amazing playbook that can go through all sorts of aspects of your business. And it starts out with your database, so better known as your data bank. So our data bank has seasons. So we're kind of at the fall cleanup, winter of renewal season of our data bank. So today, what we want to do is we want to think about all the people we haven't spoken to in the last year and reconnect with them. All the activities that we do today are going to encourage business in the spring, in the summer, when it starts to explode, right? So today, I would love everybody to take out your phone and text someone you haven't talked to this year. Maybe text them something like Happy Tuesday. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I'm sorry we haven't chatted in a while, but I'd love to connect before the end of the year for a cup of coffee. Are you available tomorrow? Or whenever you're available. Can't wait to catch up. So this is a great opportunity to connect with people during the winter season. Do this. This is the activity I'd love for you to do right now. And also this week to reconnect with maybe some of those folks that we haven't talked to. And I promise you, they want to hear from you.
That book is so good.
Isn't it so great?
Yeah. That book is great.
So we've gone through a couple of these exercises in the last week. When we, Sam went over what our data bank is worth and GCI next year. And this is just the next step in the MREA playbook, seasons of the data bank. So everybody take out your phone, let's do it. Has everybody got their phone out? Think of somebody, think of anybody.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Let's text them. Hope you had a fantastic holiday, Thanksgiving holiday. And if you get a response and you set a coffee appointment, anytime during the team meeting, just raise your hand, scream, I got one. The winter of renewal, I love that, the seasons of your database, the winter of renewal, let's renew those relationships. I always love those people that you haven't talked to in a year or 2 years, you send a random text, and like, I was thinking about you. It's just a warm, not a minute. All right, I'd love to hear any wins that you have. So if you get responses, copy and paste that to 3 people. Just copy the same text and send it to 3 different people. And I'd love to see here when you get a copy of my notes. Okay, with Michael and Craig. Hey, Tiffany. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Y'all have a good Thanksgiving. Alright, so we have some exciting things coming up that Emily will tell you about.
So this Friday, we've got our last class of the year, list that house. So we're gonna talk all things strategies of prospecting, listing everything you need to know on that. So that's this Friday, if you're in this room from 10 to 1. And then of course, like Sherry said, we're very excited about the holiday party, anniversary party next. Is that Wednesday? And then also on the 11th, we have a new agent closing 101 class here from 11 to 12. And then on the 15th, of course, trivia, to close it out, that'll be on the 15th. So we'll hope to see you at any or all of those upcoming events.
And our trivia has been pretty competitive, so y'all come on in. I'm trying to throw trick questions out there, so we look forward to seeing y'all there. But just wanted to talk to y'all real quick about the Georgia withholding. If y'all have a seller that is not a resident of Georgia, or if it was not their primary residence, we will see that when the seller information forms come back, if they're closing with us. But just make sure you kind of give them a heads up that they may, if they don't fit into one of those 2 categories, they may be asked to calculate the capital gains or the adjusted cost basis. With that, we don't wanna give any tax advice on any properties for anybody, but I do wanna kind of give y'all one little hint. If they cannot remember, we had this come up in closing, if they cannot remember what they purchased the property for, you can first of all see it on the tax assessor's website, you just go back to the previous sales and we'll show you there, but also on the face of the deed. If you look at the top right-hand corner, it'll tell you the amount of transfer tax that was paid. So if it says $965 up at the top right, what did they pay for the property? Anybody?
$965,000.
Exactly, yeah, so that's a cheat sheet right there. You can also pull it up on the tax assessor's website. We recommend they go through this with their tax advisor or accountant prior to closing. You wanna make sure that's done. But if it's not, that's one little key that they can have, but also they'll wanna get all any kind of improvements they did on the property, all that kind of stuff. But just keep that in mind if your seller is not a Georgia resident, if it is not their primary residence for the last 2 to 5 years, they'll need to go through that calculation. If y'all have any questions, give us a call and we are looking forward to closing with y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Hard, stressful, mortgage.
Good morning. How's everyone doing? Good. Everyone still full from Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I feel like it. Good morning, everybody. So quick rate market update for you. Rates are still good, busy. Today we've got some, consumer confidence coming out in about 10 minutes. So, not a whole lot going on this week. That consumer confidence report will come out. There's some PCE data coming out later this week. So assuming that there's nothing surprising in any of that, rates should stay pretty steady for us. So we're kind of in that low sevens, about 7.375-ish on a 30-year, about half a point lower than that on a 15-year. So those are solidly in the sixes. And next week we do have some other data coming out. We've got some labor market data. So if you remember, the joy that we're feeling in rates was kicked off earlier this month by labor data. So next week we're getting, the following November's data in. So assuming that that still shows some more softening again, we could see a little bit of a rally in the bond market, which is good for rates. But bottom line is, after the inflation data next week, then we've got a Fed meeting the following week. So assuming there's no surprises and things kind of keep coming in like we're expecting, we should stay pretty steady for a while on what we're seeing for rates. And again, if the labor market is softening again next week, we might see a little bit of improvement, but there's really nothing anticipated that we're gonna, see rates drop really quickly right now or anything like that. So we, as always, will keep you posted on what's going on in the market, but that's where we are today.
I'm glad that they've calmed down.
Yeah.
The roller coaster of emotion.
I'm cool with calm.
So are we?
Yeah.
So are we?
Man.
Exactly. So, Hunter?
Yeah, so I'll talk about credit scores as well.
Okay, yeah,
Just to touch on that.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate, we now have the 1% down payment option for clients. It's called ResSource. They can get up to $5,000 toward their down payment. So if they're looking in the $250,000 to $300,000 range, that's their full two other percent of their down payment if they are putting 3% down. So very, very good option. Again, we have the Home Possible and Home Smart for area median income that is adjusted for these clients to get them lower interest rates and help them keep themselves in their house. So with that being said, I think there's still opportunities out there. A lot of the time, towards the holidays, a lot of people say that there's not any activity. I think that, we're seeing what houses are popping up on the market. There's plenty of people going to look at them. So if you guys have anything for us, we'd love to help you close it by the end of the year so we can take advantage of that, waiving the lender fees on the refinance before the year's over.
One thing to add to on your red scores, I confirmed last week that does not have to be a first time buyer. So that can be someone who's purchased before, so keep that in mind, that's the $5,000 toward down payment, does not have to be first time buyer.
Nice.
You pull up. Okay, so I want to touch on this.
Question.
Oh, sorry.
Is there an expiration date on this deal?
On the refinance?
As of right now, it's the end of the year.
It's the end of the year.
As of right now.
I'm pushing to the powers that be to try to get through first quarter. So hopefully if that comes to fruition, if they listen to me, we'll have extra. Yes. See how much power I have.
What that means is that they need to close their original loan by that time, not their refi, just to be super, super clear.
Well, the refi doesn't have a set date.
Correct.
Right?
Correct, yeah, just have to close before the end of the year right now, and then whatever the rate structure is beneficial, yeah. Exactly. All right, so I went over this briefly last week, but a little bit lighter crowd with Thanksgiving, so I wanted to reiterate it. All right, show of hands, 2019, before the pandemic hit, who would have advised their clients to purchase? Right, before rates pull down, if you had a crystal ball. Yeah, or you purchasing property yourself, right? So this to me is a crystal ball. So this is from MBS Highway. This is the probability or odds that the Fed is going to drop interest rates next year, month by month. So once we get into March, a 35% drop. What we know, so Mortgage Bankers Association came out, every half of a point that the rates drop, about 1 million buyers come into the market. That's a great conversation to have with buyers that are on the fence right now is if you know rates are gonna pull back, we've got the refinance incentive, buy now before a ton of buyers pull in and rates have dropped and help create some of that urgency. So Aaron said we've got some stability right now with the interest rates next year. We're hoping that it's gonna be a pretty significant drop.
And so I know Carrie, you were originally, or maybe it was Dina, was like, well, don't just send that out to your
Don't
clients.
send that,
But like
oh.
what Matt's really saying is use it in a way that's not necessarily about the rates, but about, hey, this is how many more buyers you're gonna compete against with that company.
Right, and it's
It's
a
still
conversation,
Yeah.
right? Not all the stats that we see, we send out to our clients, but we are the experts. So we are the ones that bring the information, not the news, as realtors, bring the information to our clients. So this is a fabulous conversation to say, competition could rise in March. It's already going to, right? Because in the spring market, more buyers come on. Now, if interest rates drop by half a point, and now you're competing against 1 million more buyers, would it be more beneficial for you to maybe take advantage of the winter market now, when prices are typically a little bit lower in the spring, and you don't have to compete with multiple offers and give up your entire, savings account and, promissory notes to your first one time. So it's conversation. We might not share exactly what this is, but it's a conversation that you're gonna have with your clients in order to encourage business.
Well said. So now, is this like an annual percentage of what happens every year that? Or how do they?
No, this is projecting based off of.
Probability
Yeah,
of them cutting.
probability of them cutting month by month.
So to be clear, in March, there's a 35% chance that they could cut rents.
Yes.
But the amount they cut would be, still, it's gonna be.
It could be, that's what they're not projecting or giving us a probability of whether it's. gonna-
Last year, it kept going up,
Yes,
so he's thinking all of a sudden they're gonna come down.
yes.
I always say it's always based on the roller coaster of emotions of whatever report came out that day.
That's what I'm saying, so.
Well, but it's
Yes.
an election year.
Yes,
and
I
a
was gonna
lot
say that's
of
kind of-
one rates to try to make everybody like them, so.
Yeah.
It is political too.
Bad housing market in election year.
Yeah.
They're not gonna want that.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Neither side wants that.
Awesome.
We have Coffee Talk, the last one for the year, December 4th, and Matt Mead is also teaching a class that day at noon on social media, so I hope you'll come to those two things. And then also I want to make sure that you know that the next competition is coming up. The Ugly Sweater competition is coming up on December 12th for team meeting. There will be prizes as always. I do plan to win this time. I am not taking these yahoos with me on the journey this time. Just saying. They told me that and they won't.
Not know that's how you felt.
Darn. Okay, anyway, so that's what we got.
One talking point that I've been using that I think kind of puts things into reality. Interest rates right now are normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not,
Right.
I mean, they're not high compared to like history. And so I was with a buyer the other day who came and met with me and, they're 7%, 6% is what we've always known. When I bought my first house, it was 14%. So I think you can, until we get the rates down, use the talking points that this is normal. This is a normal interest rate market, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
and most clients believe whatever you say, I mean, tell the truth, but, if you kind of guide them that way, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, then I'll go buy a house, do that now before the spring hits. So anyway, I just wanted to say that because I don't think they're that high in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely.
You're right.
No, I bought my first house in 2001 at 8.5%. Yeah, I thought I was winning.
Right.
Like, I was like, that's a good interest rate. I'll take it.
They're not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Right.
And did I refinance? Of course.
Last plug, we're trying to finish the year strong. We're here for you. We can still close 12, 14 days. So if you have buyers, please, we want them. We'll do a good job.
Let's crush the hammer.
Yes. Thank y'all so much.
Kathy, you wanna come up and talk to us today? I'm so glad to have you here. And your bottle of wine.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Kelly LaKenda with 210 Home Buyers Warranty, a warranty partner and resource. So for the bottle of wine, who can tell me how complimentary listing coverage works?
Right, so your seller is covered. I mean, we have to add for air conditioning, so the money is taken out of closing, but if anything happens before, then you can come repair it and fix it without any cost, because it's gonna be paid as opposed to. All right, yeah.
So this is one thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about because I had a call from a seasoned agent that has never used me before. And she called me up and she was like, tell me a little bit about this complimentary listing coverage that you guys offer. And I was like, okay, well, what made you want to learn more about this? And she was like, well, I actually went on to a listing appointment and I lost it to another agent that actually offered it that I never did. And so what we are offering to your sellers is we don't know how long the home's gonna be on the market, right? Couple of hours, days, weeks, months, even up to a year. And what we are proposing to your sellers is we will give them free warranty coverage during that listing period. We just ask for a verbal commitment. There's no contract, but just a verbal commitment that they're going to market it with the home and present it to all parties at closing. Nothing is due up front. Nothing is due until closing, and only if that home closes with a home warranty. So for listing coverage, it is for 180 days. They can renew it for another 180 days. They can only get the standard coverage, which is the 620, but if it does roll over to buyer's coverage, they can upgrade to the Supreme or they can downgrade to the Simple. The only thing that's optional during the listing period is adding the air conditioner and heat pump coverage. That's only an additional $50, and that the seller does have to agree to pay that if it closes with a warranty or without a warranty. But y'all, it's such a great marketing tool because the last thing that they want to do is put more money into their home. They're trying to sell that home, but we all know things could happen. Unexpected happens. Unexpected could be very expensive. And I see it happen all the time right before closing, especially water heater breakdowns. And so it's a great marketing tool because if something does fail during that listing period, it could be eligible for coverage. Now, we don't care how old the systems or appliances are. We just require that everything is in place and in good, safe working order prior to that warranty start date. So unfortunately, they know that they can put Freon into that AC system, or they know that Iowa burners hasn't been working. It's going to be considered pre-existing. So this is all meant for failures that happen during the listing period. But again, when buyers come into a pre-loved home, they understand things are older, and so you're telling them, we already have history with 210. We've had listing coverage for 2 months, and either the buyers can pick it up and just go from 1 year from day of closing for a full year, or the seller can pay for it for the buyers at closing. I even have that seasoned agent, she was like, I'm not even gonna ask anyone to pay for it. I'm going to get these listings by saying I will give them not only a free warranty, but I'm gonna pay for it for the buyers if I can get the listings like this. So it's a great work.
And it's a great negotiation tool when you're in that amendment to negotiating the amendment to address concerns. Because a lot of times we're like, oh, you need to replace the water heater. It's 10 years old. Well, it's still working, and I'm gonna provide a home warranty. A water heater is somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 to replace. A home warranty for the Supreme is only $740. So we're saving, somewhere around $500 just by providing this. And it's a great negotiation tool during that time, right?
Yeah.
For all kinds of different repairs.
Exactly.
As long as it's not currently broken, then if it does have some concern in the future, it can be covered for the first year.
Mhm.
And if you want, oh, sorry.
So you're saying that you don't have to sign up that you're the company, you don't have to sign something that you have, word of mouth.
We do have to get, the complimentary listing coverage enrolled through.
Then
it.
roll,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
I just need property address, the buyer's information, or the seller's information, and yes or no to adding AC. Heating's already included, they have a regular heating system, so that's awesome going into the winter months. But one last thing, if it does roll over the closing, your buyer or the buyers still get a gift up to $100 from us. We do have that Happy Home lock-in hardware where your buyer can have 45 days from that closing date to hire somebody to come out to redo all their locks, or they can buy all new hardware. They just have to upload their paid receipt to their homeowner portal 45 days from the closing date, and we're mailing them a check up to $100. And we even have a certificate to where you can say it's a closing gift from you. So it's a $100 closing gift, so. You haven't used me or used 210, I would love the opportunity to become your partner. I've been with the company for almost 20 years. I do come along with this package. I love to talk to your homeowners. I love to educate, and if I ever need to get involved in a claim, I'm here for you. On track, if anything ever gets off track, that's what I'm here for. So if you haven't used me, I would love that opportunity to be your partner. So thank you.
So, I'm sorry. I think Mary Ann had a question for Mary Ann.
Yeah, yeah, oh my gosh, the home warranty also is renewable for following years, so as our buyers are coming in and are rebuilding their savings to be able to maintain their home, right? They've got the opportunity to keep this warranty in place.
Yeah.
And budget for it, and we're able to, as listing agents or buyer's agents, provide that education. Another education part, right? And we really encourage everybody on both sides to help make a difference moving forward. And that little disclaimer, or that little page before where you're at there, Kelly, also allows us to protect ourselves and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's this opportunity for you to have this home warranty during this listing coverage, et cetera. So
Yeah, it's our waiver, so
it's a waiver.
as long as you are presenting, and if they decline, have them sign that, so they can't come back and say, what are you gonna do about this broken refrigerator, or this HVAC system has to be completely replaced. No one told me about this, well, I did offer you something. But even if the seller is not gonna pay for the warranty, also note, the buyers can still purchase it for themselves, and we do offer payment plans for the buyers.
Oh, I just wanna say thank you. I use this, I'm on my current listing and it's empty, it's vacant. And like 2 weeks or a week into showings, we got a leak in the basement, I got a phone call. And we were able to call the homeowners, were able just to pay for it, $100, get it fixed. So it's definitely an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And we have these flyers in our mail room, and you can pick them up and put them in your listing presentation and your listing packets and present that at your listing appointment.
Yeah.
So they're always there and available.
Yep, and you can even email me. I have agents, because I understand you guys are busy. The last thing you guys want to do is talk home warranty. And so I have agents that will just call or email me. They'll CC their buyers or their sellers. They guide me who I'm talking to, like, hey, Kelly, we're about this, my sellers, meet Mr. and Mrs. Seller. We're about to list next week. Can you please send them information? And then they'll follow up later saying, did Kelly send you information? What do you think? Is it something that you're interested in? Okay, sign a waiver if you don't want it. And then, but that's what I'm here for. You can always get me involved and I will educate them.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good morning. I'm just up my, trivia game. Maybe next week. Good morning. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We love buyers. We love to work with buyers, but I wanted to talk about another service that we offer. We do complimentary policy reviews, and I will tell you a very interesting story about how someone should have come and asked an agent before they filed a claim. But I have a piece of software that makes it really easy for anyone to go in, plug in their current login details for like State Farm, USA, whatever company, any company. It's like 250 plus insurance companies. You go in, you enter that info, and it automatically sends me the declarations pages so I can review to make sure, is your dwelling properly covered? Has the value gone up? Has the value gone down? Are you covered for water backup?
I have a neighbor who wanted a policy review, so I happily did that for him. He had a water main line bust outside of his house, which if you don't have a special endorsement on your policy for utility, breakage or whatnot, home insurance is not gonna cover anything outside the home unless you have that endorsement. Well, he was not working with a personal agent. He had, I think Geico called, made a claim. It got denied because it was a pretty, like, if he had had an agent that he was working with, he would have known, okay, this isn't gonna be covered. I don't need to bother making a claim. But I wasn't able to help him because he had this claim on his record, and the claim is a claim. It doesn't matter if it pays $0 or $100,000. So a policy review is always a really good idea, just to make sure, you know, that you're covered. In the case of a house fire or some major loss, the worst thing you wanna do is not, you know, have your assets covered and replaced or repaired. So anyhow, I would love the opportunity to work with any of your buyers. If any of you guys have, you know, older home insurance that you're not sure if you're covered, I would love to take a look at it. No, you know, strings attached, just the service that we offer, but we make it really easy for you guys.
Thank you.
So,
Awesome. You are, Michael, how are you today? I feel like it's weekend. You want to come up and talk about your program for us?
Sure. So I'm gonna be real quick. So we are running this promotion right now. You probably got the email about it already. Jessica helped us out, Gary helped us out, we can just send out to you all, but the way the promotion works, we refer 5 people to Georgia Natural Gas in the month of November. I know it's like to this level, but also the month of December as well. Refer 5 people, you get an additional $500 as well. So this, in addition to the $60 that you already receive every time someone signs up for Georgia Natural Gas into your referral code. So right now we have the you know, one of the lowest rates right now, 54 cents per therm right now. So rates have come down a lot on the natural gas standpoint. So definitely have your clients take advantage of that. If it is gas, 60% of all homes in the state of Georgia are gas serviceable. So just know that one of 2 homes, one out of every 2 homes you sell, chances can be gas serviceable. So you may want to
Awesome.
sign up for the program.
$500?
Yeah, $500.
$500?
Yeah.
And this information's in the newsletter as well, so if you can copy it down or take a picture of it here, you can go back to our newsletter, it's in there. And this offer ends on December 31st.
Yeah. If you want to sign up on the program, just go to gng.com/GNG Hub, gng.com/GNG Hub, get signed up, you get your referral code, you're gonna get a personalized URL. So that you can just share it out, to telephone number as well, that if your clients choose to call in as well, so.
Awesome. I appreciate
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I want to say happy week after Thanksgiving. I know it's a little slow to get rolling after a week of the reason I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about goal setting inside of command. Who has plans to actually sell some houses in 2024? There's some people that didn't have their hands raised. How many of you have actually set your goals for the year? How much, like, do you know what you want to do next year? Okay. How many of you have that documented? Okay, a few of you. The reason why it's important we document this, does anyone know what percentage you're likely to hit your goals if you just write them down? What's the percentage of this? It's actually a science behind it.
55%.
I wish. Not too far. It's 40%. You're 40% more likely to hit your goals just by writing them down and documenting them. Then it gets in that realm of 60 to 70% if you have accountability around them, like if you're actually attaching it to like a partner hearing your goals. I don't know if Command necessarily counts as having a partner, and yet it does count for that documentation part. So we want to walk you through goal setting inside of Command and how to do this. Has anyone actually set their goals in Command before? Cool. All right, so it may not be that obvious, but we actually want to go inside the reports outlet inside of Command to do this, which is the one that looks like a bar graph on the left-hand side. And then, not a trick question, where should we go if we want to set our goals inside of?
Goals.
Okay, all right. Sweet, you guys are really smart.
Kept it up.
I had different answers to the other market center.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, and if we wanted to set our goals, what button should we click on this?
Oh, my God.
Goal setting,
All right.
All right, cool, it's listening, sweet. Everything on goal setting, the top right hand corner.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you can change the 2023 or 24, it doesn't matter on the other side. And then you have the doom block that tells you the 2024. We have 1 month and it's the doom countdown, yeah. we're there.
Hours.
But what I love about goal setting in Command and what I love about Command in general is that when you have the opportunity, like I do, to play with all the different types of CRMs and databases that are out there, they're all the same. Like they all have a contact button. It just may be a different color to call it something different. They may have drip campaigns instead of smart plans. A lot of the tech that we have in real estate is the same. One of the factors that I think that makes Command really special, and I see that Tanya has a copy of it, is that we built this based on the principles of the models and systems inside the MREA book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Can anyone tell me, and I know that we've had this quiz before, what are the 4 models of the MREA book? Oh, you guys aren't so smart now, are you?
Trip, hint, we've gone over.
Okay.
Budget.
All right, we've been read that. And there's one more. Here, I'm gonna give you a trick. If you remember ELBO, you'll never forget it again. Economic, lead generation, budget, organization. Now, when they rewrite the MREA, they're gonna screw it up. There's a 5th model that's gonna be added for expansion. So it's gonna be ELBOE, I guess. But this covers the economic model, which is where I can basically say, I wanna have a plan, I wanna make $1 million in 2024. And the way the economic model works is it reverse engineers that plan all the way down to tell you how many contacts you need in your database to get there. I'm not that great at math and I really hate formulas. I have since high school. What I love about Command is it takes the thinking out of it and makes this SAM-proof, it makes it really easy. So the first thing we start with is writing our profit goal. And this is where the questions are getting a little bit trickier. What is a profit goal? Like what is profit? Yeah, okay, like this is what we're putting in our pocket. We're not setting a goal around GCI, right? This is not gross commission. We're talking about, we're gonna put the goal in of the money that we want to take home, put in our pockets. That's actual profit, okay? How much does this room want to make today? What should we use as an example?
$200,000.
200,000, all right. So we put that goal in, all right, 200,000. And again, there's no judgment around the goal for you. If you just want to replace your income at your part-time job, or you want to make 200K or 100,000 or $1 million, whatever it is for you, put that number in. And then we're gonna go into entering our expenses and our cost of sales. And this is why it's so expensive, it's so important to go to like business planning clinic and these other advanced classes that would go in detail about what an expense and cost of sale is. And some of the best practices on what those amounts should be. But we're gonna give a rough estimate on what our expenses and our cost of sales are. But first, I want to ask the question, can anyone tell me the difference between an expense versus cost of sale? Y'all thought you were so smart before we started this, right? It's a little bit tricky.
Well, the cost of doing business, like you have to buy something for the, for your listing, what we get through.
Not kind of, yeah, close.
Would your cap be part of your cost of sale?
It is, yeah.
Because that only happens when you sell a home, right?
Yes, so that's really it. Like, if I'm not sure the difference between a cost of sale and expense, I tend to lean towards like, let's think about this term cost of sale. There is a cost when there is a sale, okay? So your cap is a great example. I don't write a check to Keller Williams at the beginning of January. I only pay that when I have a sale. Does that make sense? An expense is an expense, no matter whether or not I have a closing or not, I have to pay that.
Maybe like a super key.
Yes.
Every month we have to pay $15.81 to open a door.
Exactly.
That's an expense.
So let's quiz you. Now we have a couple examples here. Listing fees. If we have photography, is that an expense or cost of sale?
Cost of sale.
Well, it costs her.
Yeah.
Whether it's list
Be on
or
the-
not.
On the fences, anyone ever have a failed listing?
Yeah.
Still be on the hook for that photography?
Yeah.
Your expenses are, yeah, photography is technically an expense. Your marketing on a listing is technically an expense, not a cost of sale. Because if you have a field listing, you're still on the hook for that, right? Let's give you an easy one. How about a referral fee to an agent in Boise, Idaho?
Cost of sale.
Cost of sale, okay, that's a softball. Transaction coordinator.
Expense.
This one's tricky. This can go either way. This is one of the only few that can truly be both, depending on how it's set up. If I'm paying at closing, yes, that TC would be a cost of sale. If they're on my salary, if I pay a retainer for them, that would then be an expense, okay? And that's why it's so important to kind of understand these. Go to these advanced classes like Profit Camp offered by MAP. It's probably one of the most detailed classes you can take. I believe we'll cover something like that in business planning clinic on the 14th. That class is coming with Andy and Leslie. Go to those so you have a better detail of your finances there. But what we're striving for is put a number in here for your expenses and your cost of sales. I like to start with cost of sales. We know what's the cap here at the Market Center?
Total is 18.
18. We're doing 15 Keller Williams, Chattahoochee North, 3 to Keller Williams International. So we have 15 there. So when we're working cost of sales, everyone here should have a minimum of 15,000 to set that box. Okay. You then want to calculate for those other things that may be cost of sales, like, hey, if I'm going to close $200,000 in houses, I'm probably paying for a referral fee or two in there. I'm going to calculate that out. Again, with goal setting, I'd rather be kind of aggressive with my approach here and kind of overshoot my cost of sales expenses, because if I'm wrong and generous with being wrong there, it only means I'm going to profit more money if I kind of guess high here. So my cost of sales, let's go ahead and put like 30,000 in there. Might be overshooting that, that's okay. Now expenses, this one's going to be unique for you and your business. Now that we have an understanding of what expenses are, if I'm a sphere-based agent and I'm not paying for a ton of marketing, or if I'm not paying for leads from other services, my expenses could be really, really low. Now, if I'm a Zillow agent, I'm paying for buckets of leads all the time from those aggregates, I could be paying a ton of money for expenses and cost of sales here. So depending on the style of business, if your relationship versus transactional, this number on expenses may fluctuate. So I like to just kind of make it match my cost of sales, put 30,000 in here if I'm not sure. And then what we're gonna do, once we're done with that, we're gonna get into our business makeup. If you know your percentage of how many listings versus buyers or what your percentages are, feel free to change that. For goals today, we're just gonna leave it at 50-50. And then the last thing that we need to do to take the thinking out of this is just put our average commission per unit in here. What's the average for the market?
About 12,000.
12,000, okay. Now, I know some of you in the room may be at a much higher price point. Feel free to put your number in here. If you don't know your number, go ahead and put the market center at 12,000. And that's it. We're just gonna hit continue here. Now, this is the part that if you know your numbers, and honestly, I've met with a lot of our top agents inside of the Georgia Legacy Group. Most of them don't know their conversion rates. This is saying like, hey, looking at my sales funnel, how many leads do I have turning to contacts, contacts into appointments, appointments turn into actual health appointments, down to agreements like contracts and closings. Most of us don't know those numbers. We should know them if we're businesses, and yet inside of here is the national averages, which is about 75% conversion rate. You probably all do better than 75%, but when it comes to goal planning, I'd rather like kind of mess this up in the right direction to where if I'm converting there at 75%, I just need to have to close on that. You can really just skip this screen and make it. I guess to continue on this one too, it's finalized here. I think what's really cool though is like you just have to basically put in like 6 pieces of data and you can get your goals here. Now, we do have to change our goals from 2023 to 2024 at the top. And then before we give everyone a panic attack, you just scroll quickly to the bottom before everyone sees the fun stuff. All right, this is what I want you to pay attention to. Once we got our numbers, now this is going to tell us what we need to close in order to make $200,000 of profit. So our profit goal is 200K. How many units do we need to close? Can you see that? 22. 22. All right. Anyone scared of that number? Okay. Now, if we're converting at a ratio of 75%, meaning that a quarter of our business falls off, that means that we have to go, if we want to close 22 units, we have to go under contract 28 times. If we want to go under contract 28 times, that means that we need to write 38 agreements. If we want to write 38 agreements, that means we have to go on 52 appointments. If we wanna hold 52 appointments, we need to schedule 68. If I need to schedule 68 appointments, then that means I need 1,370, 1,370 contacts in my database. And then I don't look at that number above it, it doesn't make any sense to me. It talks about leads and conversion, that's why I think your business really matters here. But if I wanna close 22 units, I need to go under contract 28 times, I need to basically go on 52 appointments a year. And I need to build a database of 1,370 contacts. This is doable. And what I like about this is that once I have this understanding of my goal being 22 units that equals $200,000 in profit, once I have a database of 1,370 people, I can expect this for my business every year.
If you systematically.
Follow the other models in the book, yes, yes.
If you
one more.
systematically communicate with those 1,370 people.
Yes, yeah, that's what we're banking, that if you have a system in place, something like, what do they call that, a 36 touch?
I think it's 36.
Yeah.
Number 36.
Only 5% of those people will convert, ultimately getting us to this 22 units. So, go in here, goal set. If you have any questions, Lucy and I would be more than happy to jump on a call or do this with you live in person. It's really straightforward. Like you saw, it's like 6 pieces of data we have to put in. But I think the cool thing, what I love about this is it really breaks down that I need to sell less than 2 homes a year, or excuse me, less than 2 homes a month. And if I just get in the mindset that if I can go on 1 appointment a week, I'll hit my goal of make 200,000. Like, I know y'all are capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Could you think of contacts as direct conversations as opposed to like an email campaign? Because I would think that would be more so.
Well, think a little bit bigger here, because contacts is only converting at a rate of 5%. You do have to have a lot of conversations just for this math to work. But yeah, if I'm having that many contacts in my database, like Carrie's saying, it has to pair with that 36 touch. And the 36 touch consists of like 4 quarterly phone calls, 2 belly-to-belly appointments throughout the year, and then like all the electronic stuff. So yes, it is conversations, but really it's gotta be many of those throughout the year, to get 36 touches throughout the year for that to work.
Is this contact, is that how many people are in our database, or is this conversation? This is how many people are in our database, right? So
Yes.
as long as we have 1,370 people in command.
Yeah.
And then we're on a systematic 36 touch, we should be able to set 68 appointments.
Well, this is where like, it gets a little bit weird from business to business.
Okay.
Because when you look at this number, this looks at, I don't know, like if y'all disagree or not, but I think there's 2 types of real estate businesses. There's relationship and transactional. I think a lot of us in TW strive for that relationship, like we have a sphere of influence, we know people that knows, like, trust us. Mark Spain runs the transaction business, he doesn't know his contacts, right? They don't know that it's rated into the market. So like Mark Spain will probably have to look at that and say like, okay, I need 27,000 leads in my data bank.
Yeah.
I would argue that if we focus on building relationships with 1,300 people in the data bank, really close relationships, that's the number we should strive for.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when you make that like $1 million goal, like you're talking like, that goes like 45,000 leads. You gotta think there. I don't like to look at leads. I think it's kind of a stupid number. Look at building a contact database that everyone can manage.
And I think when we sit down and meet and talk, we want to talk about the operating expenses, and also when we talk about profit, taking our life expenses in there as well. And then coming up with that life by design number.
Yeah, completely different form. Great. Like, I love that approach, life by design.
But I love this, because this will keep track of it in command, so once you have a sale, it's gonna say, how close are you to the goals that you put into command? Right?
Exactly, all this.
So at the bottom of the opportunity screen, it's gonna tell you how close you are to hitting this goal number.
Exactly, yep.
I love the visual.
So again, you're 40% more likely to hit this goal just by going through and doing this process, writing it down. Bring accountability to it, get into productivity coaching, hire a coach.
Absolutely, and like I always say, if you wanna meet with me, I'd love to go through these, or Sam is awesome. I meet with Sam, you can go direct to the source. But we can meet and talk about your goals and put them down. We still have time to get ready for 2024. And I think I sat down with Richie yesterday and put down his goals, and he knows exactly what he's gonna do next year, and Jan and lots of other people. So when you raise your hand, I'm so proud of you that you got them already on paper going into next year rather than scrambling at the last minute. So let's get into action and we can set those goals.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kim, come on up here. Oh, okay. Hi, I am so honored to be here today to have this meeting so I can talk with Kim.
Sweet, thank you.
I was so excited that my day is with you.
And we have 3 minutes.
And we got 3 minutes. No, it's fair, we could have a little bit more than 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Would that be okay with y'all?
I hope so. So I brought some nuggets.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so.
So tell me about yourself.
Well, I got my license in 2011. At the end of the recession, we were about to lose our house, and my son paid for my real estate school out of his savings account. He was 16 years old, and he's my investor. So, and now 12 years later, I say, I got a listing. And he's like, it's great, Mom. He's in San Francisco doing his thing. And so, but anyway, I love that story because he came up and said, I think you should do this, and I'm gonna pay for it. So it was very cool. So
He was 16.
yeah. He's a junior, just becoming a junior in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and now he's gonna be 30, so, but I'm excited to be here because I teach a class, and so I brought a lot of my class stuff because I think it's important to walk away with kind of a game plan, especially if you're new or if you're an older agent, kind of in a slump. So I brought that kind of thing.
I love
Sam and Lucy are wonderful, but I don't even know how to log into Command.
Who does that?
Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah, and Tracy. So when I got to 6 million in sales, I hired a transaction coordinator. And we were in Dotloop at the time, and then
Yeah.
we switched to Command. We still do Dotloop. Hannah and Tracy and I still do Dotloop, and then she puts it in Command. So you can do this without technology. I mean, it is relationship. My database is 1,200 people. And I think we're at 30 million this year with only 1,200 people. So it's a whole different vibe, I guess, and it is relational. I send the text every month, and if you've taken my class, you'll laugh because I have a note card box. And I put Matt Cuglin, let's say, and his cell phone number on this note card. Like, this is so old school. And I'll text him and say, hey, I'm out here working hard. Don't forget me if you need any help. And I put him to the back of the note card box. And then I cycle through it at red lights or wherever, eating lunch, and I'll hit it and copy and paste. And Matt will resurface in about a month. And so I can do that anywhere. I don't have to know technology. And it's pretty easy. There's different ways to do it, but I like that way because I like,
It reminds me of Gary in a box.
I like to touch.
Call it like your black box that has the.
Yes.
Yeah, that reminds me of how Gary Keller started his business.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
So I brought nuggets. Do you want me to just go
Well,
for
tell
it?
us about your journey. Tell me about your real estate journey.
So
You got your license in 2011 when we were like in the midst of coming out of the crash.
Yeah, it was hard. And I always say if you want a 40-hour-a-week salary, you gotta work 40 hours a week. But I was working about 80 hours a week, just doing it. And you say, okay, well, what were you doing? Right? Like that's what I brought with me. 6 million the first year, I was rookie of the year at Coldwell Banker and stayed there 3 years, and then met Mike in the rain in my car, so nobody from Coldwell Banker would see me.
Oh my goodness.
And came here about 3 years later. I don't even remember what.
We all had like a secret, like in the car meeting in the back of the parking lot while it was raining.
Yes, boring.
It sounds like an amazing love story.
I know. Carla loves it. So I came over here and so I went from 6 million to 9 million to 14, and then came here and hit 20. And
What was the change that happened? to go
I hired
from-
an assistant, and I felt responsible for her well-being. So if you guys hire a virtual assistant or a transaction coordinator, you all of a sudden they're like your family. You want to make them do it. So I wanted Hannah to make 100 grand this year, and she did. And, so I got her goal. I can just watch. I think she's showing house, but So that drives me is when I started with Tracy in 2013, I wanted her to have the biggest year ever. She's a single mom. She's my transaction coordinator.
I was gonna ask, what does she do for you?
Yeah, she does all of our contracts and she lives in Florida and,
Is she virtual?
she is virtual. We've been together like 8 years now. And so it just depends on what drives you, what your big why is. You know, it used to be my son, of course, and now it's the two of them. And, it just matters, like once you get an assistant, it lifts you. And Terry, you would probably agree, adding Nina, you wanna do so much more for her to be like, they don't need. But when you want to just double your, I mean, you do, and so, for her, and so it's, so did that, and I've just been here, and I don't do numbers, I don't do technology, I don't know what my numbers are, I have no idea, I just.
But you have a system.
Sure.
You have a.
You have a
system in here.
Oh, this little assistant, I brought this.
But you do have a systematic way of talking. It might not be fancy like a 36 touch, maybe, but I think it's very close to what a 36 touch is.
Yeah, so there's two versions of this, and like I said, if you've taken my class, we can give you guys this, but this is just a little simple, very primitive worksheet for a weekly thing to do if you're new, especially, and if you're in a slump. And one thing, on the new agents, I saw Nancy's card in there. Who's here from Nancy's team? Yeah, Ed. And so my first year, my first listing, I was going up against Nancy Finer, and I love her. We're great friends, and she probably had 40 listings in Peachtree Corners, and I had none. And don't be afraid to tell them you're new. The way I got the listing was I said, I'm new, and they said, we're talking to you and Nancy, and she's amazing, but I can devote 100% of my time to your listing. You're all I've got. It's like Jerry Maguire, right? And that's what I said at the time. I said, you're my Cuba Gooding Jr. And I got the listing because I really literally devoted 100% of my time to them. So don't be afraid to say you're new. We can all write contracts. We can get people to help us. If we get an offer on the listing, what to do with it. And that's what I told them. I said, if we get an offer, I'll figure it out. I mean, but let's get it on the market. So I think that's important. If you're new, don't be afraid to say you're new. They don't care. They want somebody who's gonna like work for them and go to bat for them. And so that was one of the things, but there's two of these. Let's do this one.
I love this one.
Okay, so
this one is to me.
The better one?
Well, I don't know that it's the better one, but I think it's
okay.
The one that is so easy to just, what do I do today?
It's a lot. Okay, so if you're just getting started and you don't have a big database, let's do this one. Okay, each week, you're gonna do 5 handwritten notes. You're gonna do 5 text messages, like what Gary's describing, 5 social media posts, and 5 phone calls. I don't make cold calls, ever, not ever. I didn't, in bold, I cheated and called my friends, but, and so like 5 phone calls and then 3 face-to-face meetings in a week. So like that could be with me, like I've gone to lunch with new agents or with Matt or with Gary. It doesn't have to be a client, but have 3 meetings. Get yourself up, take a shower, get dressed, and have 3 meetings a week. And then when you finish that meeting, you'll be like, oh, okay, I've got this.
Because you're gonna learn something out of that.
That's right.
Whether it be a client or one of our wonderful.
Right. And so that's called my 5X worksheet. That's easy to do in a week, and I have it. And if you get that done in a week, then do it again. Just do it again. If you get it done in a day, do it again. Now, the big worksheet, if you're really brave, is 10 handwritten notes, 5 lunch dates, 5 social media posts. And the social media posts can be what to do about pros and pipes, or tips for ownership, or interest rates, or closings, or whatever. 25 text messages. And that's, hey, I'm out here working hard. I just wanted to remind you, that I'm working in real estate. If you have any referrals, please send them.
I'm gonna put that one up next week for our text, because it works. Kim knows it works. I called her as soon as I got it. I was like, I got it.
Yeah, it's a great text.
It's amazing. It's really great to stay connected.
And then 5 phone conversations, and then I want you to hand out 10 business cards every week. And I played a game with myself. It's kind of sad. Me and my imaginary friend went to England. And I said, a contest, and I have to give out 10 business cards today. There's no contest, I made it up, right? My guy's with me, nobody, they can't see him. So I handed out 10 business cards at Eagles, because I told them I was in some contest, and they're like, oh, yeah, give me 3, or whatever. And I got a listing, and so that took 10 minutes. And so 10 business cards, 5 volunteer mentorship or community activities. 5. Find 5 things to support Norcross Co-op, all the things that Terry talked about. Do 5 motivational or career development things with yourself. Read something, get online, read an article.
Podcast.
Yeah, there's a great article, if you Google it, about mimicking the person that you're talking to. So like if you're meeting with a seller and they are sitting like this, you sit like this, but you don't do it obviously. And if they sit back, then eventually you kind of sit back. They're getting comfortable, and now you're having like a friend conversation. And there's great articles on mirroring the person that you're talking to and their body language. And that's a great thing. And then 5 potential client touches, which is, another thing. And then this is another little primitive thing. This is the alphabet down the left side of the page. You take this and you do occupations that start with every letter and you write them in. Accountant, dentist, car salesman. And then once you have all those occupations, you think about who you know that does that. Like you met a great guy who sold you your car, you want to go back and talk to that guy, right? Because he's in sales and he understands. Well, I took the occupations that I thought of, and you're welcome to have a copy, to help just stir your brain up on who you know. So once you do your worksheet, then you do this and start working on your database. And you can fill a day by these 2 things.
And that's what you do.
That is what I do. I mean, I do a lot of other, yeah. Pop buys, we do little pumpkin. How much? I don't even know what the 36 touch is.
It's exactly what you're doing right now.
I don't even know.
But we just named it something.
I know, I love this. Okay.
The Kim plan.
I'm trying to get y'all nuggets. Okay, so here's another thing. I went into Lizard Thicket, which is now gone, popped in there for a friend's birthday. I said, it's my friend's birthday. What do you want? I'll have a candle, whatever. She wraps it up. Her name was Rachel. And I know that because 3 days later, I got a thank you note from her that said, hey, thanks for stopping in Lizard Thicket. I hope your friend had a great birthday. Let me know if you need anything else. It was a handwritten note. Now, am I going to go back in there? Absolutely. I ordered a tray online and got this handwritten note. It's called Peace Vintage online. I got a handwritten note from the girl saying, I see you you bought something else. Thank you so much for your business. So these handwritten notes matter. In the FMLS store, they have the greatest tools. This says, thank you for the listing. And you can get a packet of these. And if somebody gives you a listing, it says, I look forward to working with you and will do everything possible to ensure a successful and profitable real estate experience. And I put my name on it and drop it in the mail. Hello. So they're thinking, okay, it reinforces I picked the right agent.
Yeah.
And then this other one is also a thank you for the listing. Then the last thing I brought was, when you get the listing, this says pets inside. These are at the FMLS store. Hang it on the front door. And this says lights on, doors locked, realtors, please, lock the doors. Okay. Right? We all know to do that, but what does your seller think about you?
Right.
When you put this on the inside of their door or this on the front of their door? We all know as realtors, don't let the dog out, turn off the lights, but they don't know that. And so it's another step in ensuring that the seller picked the right agent, right? So when things don't go well, they'll stay with you. Honestly, if they're doubting it at all and things aren't going well, they'll stay with you. So FMLS store, I highly recommend getting online and looking at some of that stuff. You can also put your business card. They have door hangers that you can put your business card on. Or I think Brian left, but he can print business door hangers with your information. Okay, sorry, I'm just rolling.
I love it.
Okay, good.
Did everybody find that beneficial?
Yeah.
I want to know, okay, big question. I want to know, what was your biggest challenge here?
This year, I think my biggest challenge is talking to everybody in my database. I want to recycle through them once every couple of months, and I'm sure that's that 36 touch thing, but.
Or just your text message at the red light.
Yeah, only at red lights though, yeah, of course, and, but it is getting in touch with everybody, because what happens, and you guys will find, if you do this worksheet, or if you text 20 people, all of a sudden, you're gonna get busy, because the momentum and your energy is going, it drops off, the texting or the 36 touch. You have to follow back up, and so I stay really busy, and I'll get like 5 appointments, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to, where did I leave off in my note card box or whatever? So, I think that's the biggest challenge is getting in touch with everybody. And like I texted a client the other day that I haven't texted in 5 years, and that's bad. She has 9 cats, like I need to move the cats about every 5 years, so, it just, going through and just being relational. I'm not techie at all, and so I go on my relationships.
And when you follow up with the people you haven't talked to in 5 years, how does that conversation go?
It says, it was Mavis, her name is Mavis, and I said, hey Mavis, I think about you all the time. I've been so busy. I think the biggest thing you guys need to do is be truthful. I've been so busy, work is great, but I think about you all the time, and I just wanted to say hi. I didn't even do give me referrals or anything.
Right.
Long text back, cats are great, lost 2 this year, and that was it. And then I'll text her again, but now she remembers. One of the biggest things is if you sell a house to somebody, if you have a buyer who buys a house and you don't contact them anymore and they get ready to sell, they'll say, that realtor was so great, but I don't remember their name.
Or their phone number, or any of their information.
Yeah.
The door hangers were great. Where are they?
These are at FMLS.
No, I meant like the.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, but I don't know who, I forgot the person that was there.
Yes,
And the husband.
and I think one thing too, is when you guys are out there, and especially if you're new, let the other agent know you're new. The worst thing is to have a new agent trying to act like an old agent, and you're like, oh, girl, you didn't ask for the termite, or whatever. Say I'm new, and the older agents will help you, and they will, and develop relationships with other agents too, because it matters when you are in a multiple offer situation and you want to work with that person, or, they give a great offer, or you have a rapport with them. So, I think that's important to be an agent's agent. Terry Ehrlich does a great job of that. You're good. You're very good at that. You're welcome. So, yeah. What else?
advice would you have for maybe an agency agent?
This worksheet right here, when I get in a slump, this is the first thing I pull out. And I fill it in and I write all over it, and all of a sudden I'm making appointments and getting calls. You guys have to do the work. It is not rocket science. It is so easy to do, but you have to do the work. Even you onward guys and gals, use this. Because you're gonna all of a sudden go, oh gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. So even if you're in a slump and you're a seasoned agent, this is my go-to.
Because it's a contact. Real estate is a contact.
And it's structured for me. I'm not a structured person. And so it brings a little bit of structure to me when I have to fill in blanks.
I feel like you're a little bit more structured than you give yourself credit.
Oh, thank you. A little bit of a mess, but
You've got it. It's a great system down, even though it doesn't have a name.
oh, it doesn't have a
It
name.
doesn't have, but you're making the contacts, you're reaching out to your database, you've got the message down, you've got your closing coordinator, you've got your.
Yeah,
And you've got all your systems there.
the biggest thing is handwritten notes. It is the biggest thing. I put a note in a mailbox recently and said, I heard you might be selling your house. You guys all hear about your neighbors, go for it. Even if you heard that they may be talking to realtors or you don't know, just write a note. And I wrote a note and said, I heard you might be selling, and they listed with another agent. And they listed for 3 months and they didn't sell it. And she called me and said, I had your note from 3 months ago. Can you come talk to me about listing my house? Or ask for the business. I went on a listing appointment the other day, and I'm just like you guys. I'm no great agent or anything, but I told her, I said, she's interviewing 3 people, and I said, you know what, I hope you pick me, because I'll work so hard for you, I'll lay awake in bed worried about your house tonight. And I got the listing because you have to ask for the business, and you have to not be afraid to do that. And the way to ask for the business is say, I'll work hard for you, or you don't have to say, will you list with me? I mean, if you don't like confrontation. And so tell them you'll work hard for them. Go that extra mile. And I don't know, yeah.
Carrie,
Yeah.
can I tell you something funny? So I took Kim's class when I was a brand new agent and we were struggling. Julie and I were really struggling. And we came out there, we created a Kim notebook. We took all of her, no joke, you have to hear the story. Took all of her worksheets, made duplicate copies of them, so one for every day of the week, plus the list of the names of things, took them to FedEx, had them bind them, and we had to show each other our notebooks every day of the 555 that we did. Our business exploded. We capped, we made top 20, it was the one thing people asked me, and it was stupid. It was, I still have it.
It is so stupid.
But it was, because it was this little thin black notebook. And we made them at FedEx, standing there, I'm like, okay, she said, this is what we have to do, so this is what we're gonna have to do.
Oh my gosh.
And turned our business
I
around.
love this, the handwritten note really makes a big difference in stuff like mine.
We did 5 a day, it was 5 every day.
It's the 5X worksheet. So because if you're new or if you're in a slump and you don't know what to do, you sit there and you go, I don't know what to do. And then I'll give you another piece of advice. Once you do this and you start getting busy, if you have downtime, take care of your house, take care of your appointments, do that. Don't let that slip away, because if you do this, I'm telling you guys, you will get busy. And when you're talking to sellers and they say, we're thinking about, listing in the spring, no. This spring, why would you do that? You have so much competition in the spring. And I tell my sellers, I had 3 closings on Christmas Eve last year. As a realtor, I can sell your house any time of the year. We change the marketing, like at the end of the year, all the transferees are coming in. December's an amazing time to list your house. The inventory is so low. So give yourself the whole year. Fall, we love fall. The leaves are changing and your house looks the best it's ever looked with the changing leaves. Like, adjust your thing to what their pushbacks are. So this lady that I got the listing was gonna list in the spring, and she's listing this week because I said,
you handled her objection.
Don't do it. Like, buyers are fickle, and you're gonna have 5 houses for sale on the street in the spring. You're not gonna get as much money as you do in the fall or the winter. So if you guys wanna call me or call Carrie and you got an objection from a seller, spin it, not necessarily spin it because it's true, but whatever season you're in, show them, and in the winter, I'll say, do you have pictures of your house in the spring? Yeah, okay, give me those, I'll put those in the listing, and just kind of figure out, but the winter is a great time to list a house. Great time, because they have no competition. So there's just all kinds of ways to do this without having to be technology savvy. I appreciate the technology, but I'm not smart enough to do it. So survival mode, I'm like, yeah, let's go for Christmas. I mean, but, and then some ideas, doggy treats at your vet, bag up some natural dog treats, put your business card on them and ask your vet if you can put them in the lobby for people to take. Or, I have doggy poo bag stations in my neighborhood. So, on the trails, it says doggy poo bags and complimentary of Kim Sutton Adair. And it's like, they think about me every time they pick up poop. And that's not an expensive marketing thing, but everybody knows it, as they walk their dogs. This is kind of an expensive one. This is probably more for a seasoned agent, but I got my logo on the swim caps in our neighborhood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I gave them a shit ton of money for that.
Yes, I can ask you, what kind of events do you do in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Because I know that you're very well known in your
Oh,
neighborhood.
gosh, I don't.
So other than the doggy poo bags, what else? You say you got logo on the swim
I've
cap.
got dog treats. Oh, this was a great one. I got Krispy Kreme donuts and got the cutest little card, have a great day. And I was standing at our neighborhood entrance and I got Katie, my old assistant, to do it, and some high school kids, and we got at the entrance of all the
I was
neighborhoods.
gonna say, did you have them at each one?
Yes, so nobody could escape. Right?
Awesome.
And,
I'll hold hostage.
and it was a great card and everything. Problem, is I didn't have any signage, so they thought I was selling donuts. They'd all go by and go, no, that poor realtor, she's out there having to sell donuts. So we took 700 donuts to Norcross High School, but that was an epic fail.
So failure way forward.
Yeah, and so you gotta do the signage, let's see, oh, one thing I was gonna tell you guys, right now, today, you're 45 days from a paycheck, right? 45 days from a paycheck. So how can you shorten that? Get busy today. Y'all gotta get out there and do this, and if you want this worksheet, I'll make you a copy, come see it, Renee, thank you.
I love how much you share. I love how much you share, and I mean, Keller Williams, I tell people this all the time, we specialize in R&D.
Oh, right,
We
yeah,
often
right,
duplicate.
right.
And I have had this sheet and I handed it out to me at AJ.
Great.
Like it's candy. And I always tell them, this is the Ken Sutton and Air sheet. And this is how you get to be that successful.
That's very sweet.
So I know that you've shared this with all of your
Absolutely.
classes and you'd be able to
Yes.
share it
And,
today with
and
anybody.
do the, occupations, if you guys want the occupation sheet, you know your alphabet, I hope. But you're welcome to this too, it has my name on it. But even if you just want the occupations and you're sitting at lunch by yourself, start writing down all these people because you will be shocked at how many people you know. Oh, and I have one other thing, see, I could do this for hours. Raise your hand if you transferred to Atlanta from another city. Okay, guess what? Your other city is gonna be half your database. So if that's family, if that's friends, where you're from, those people need handwritten notes to say, hey, guess what? I'm killing it in Atlanta. If you know anybody moving to Atlanta, please send them my name. Here's my card, here's 5 cards, pass them out. Or if you know anybody who's thinking about moving from Atlanta, please pass my name out. And those are your people. Like, those are the people you know, your family, who love you from other cities. So reach out to those other cities and try to pull them in and push them out.
I hope you wrote that down.
That's big. That's big
big one.
because I'm from here, which has helped me tremendously. But if I wasn't, I'd be working my people wherever I came from.
Because everybody's coming to Atlanta.
So that's
Maybe that,
another,
Contact sheet, maybe I'll go in and print off a bunch of them for you.
Oh,
I'm ready for you, and I'll hand them out in just a few minutes.
All
and
right.
that's another thing. So you got your 5X worksheet. If you guys don't have any work today, your 5X worksheet.
This is your one.
And your 10X worksheet, and your occupation, and reach out to your hometown. Those are 5 things that if you will bust it, you'll have some business in a week. And then that shortens that 45-day paycheck that you're gonna get, because Matt and Hunter and Aaron can do, financing appraisal in 5 days. And so what I've been doing with them is writing contracts with 5 days due diligence, and they're getting the appraisal done during my 5 days due diligence. Hi. And we're waiving the appraisal contingency. So I'm like a cash buyer, and Matt's got the appraisal done in 5 days and nobody ever says a word. I mean,
Yeah, if you can't close the house, I mean, you can close anything in the next 3 weeks, especially if you're working with Onward and our closing and.
I mean, yeah, so that's another little nuance. I recommend meeting with these guys, learning what they do, but waiving the appraisal contingency during your due diligence gives a seller a lot of peace of mind, yeah, for sure. So, but I could do this for days.
Did everybody find that helpful? Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You want me to leave these? Does anybody care? Or just go on FMLS and get, what you like, and then all of these.
I love that. Thank you, thank you.
Is that okay? Okay.
That's better than amazing. Give yourself some credit, you're amazing.
Okay.
Thank you. I was sorry about being late with me today. I really appreciate you being here and giving me some grace for my first few weeks. Yes,
Well done. One last thing real quick, Neymar installation is Friday, December 15th, and our very own Gretchen Osborne is our 2024 Neymar president. So, just check it out. So when you get the emails this week, go to neymar.org and let's support Gretchen.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Everyone should get the. I'm her. There's to know about her class for doing. I used to be their intern, I'm still on.
Not on.
When she.
I checked and I'm sure.
Yeah.